Do we have an appropriate reverence for God? Now, I know that may seem like a loaded question, but I mean it legitimately. In fact, I wonder if we even can know exactly how much reverence God is owed. Nevertheless, I do believe that God is satisfied with our best efforts rather than disappointed by our limited capacity. Here's what the writer of Ecclesiastes tells us in chapter 5. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Be not rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be hasty to utter a word before God, for God is in heaven, and you are on earth. Therefore, let your words be few, for a dream comes with much business, and a fool's voice with many words. As I read this passage, I'm reminded of the two most recent Wednesday evening series that we've done. The first was a study on the book of James, and in that book, we are told to be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry. Or rephrased, as I've told my son many times, listen more than you talk, and don't act too quickly. I think that's the encouragement the author is giving us at the beginning of the passage we read today. Listening is better than speaking quickly and acting without thought. James, I believe, would apply that to all situations of life, but here the author of Ecclesiastes is specifying that we should be prepared to listen to God rather than to make bold and reckless proclamations about our intentions toward Him. The second half of the passage, it reminds me so much of the book of Job. We aren't God. We don't have His vantage point. Our perspective is limited. How much wisdom can we gain from our perspective? How much more can we gain when we allow God to instruct us? We aren't God, and by fully embracing that, it gives us the opportunity to make steps in the direction of having an appropriate reverence for God. I love you, and I pray today that we can both spend time listening, that our ears would be open to the voice of God and His instruction, that our eyes would be watching for what He will show us, that our hearts would acknowledge His might and holiness, and that our mouths would be still until we find words to praise Him with.